Okay, welcome back to Tangle Tower. Okay, so I want to go back to Felix's room because there's still a puzzle that I left.
Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know this treasure?
It's the treasure map, obviously.
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it.
Yeah. Look closer. So... I had to look up this puzzle because I have no idea what the map is or how to read it. So... This is apparently the answer.
I did it.
I don't know why.
Why do I win?
Not bad. What was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
Looks like Freya, Flora, somebody. A model resembling a child with green hair. A model resembling a woman with gray hair. A model resembling a red and white bird. A model resembling a broad-shouldered man. The wooden models have been hand-painted. The paint is not skillfully applied. A pot of red paint and a brush is laying nearby. The brush is paint. Okay. Wait a second. I got him lost. Kind of implied that Freya had given it to us. So we want to go to Poppy. Because she's playing music? No.
Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether, slowly fraying, floating, helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet. You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously. Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly.
Oh, how nice.
I think I should try going up here and playing the music in this. No, I can't. Hi, Flora. What's happening? Look at this.
You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
Do you know anything about this beetle?
Nope. I guess let's ask Felix. What's this?
Ah, you found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people.
All her favorite people, her favorite person's Chicken, Freya, and some other guy?
What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold.
Wow.
There's something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about
Let's
it.
go now.
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something
Let's
suspicious.
ask
Later.
her about it.
Let's ask him about it.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about
Except
it.
it was
I
Freya.
used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
It's not your paint, it's not the right color. There's the wrong lid on.
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
Freya's paints.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Here's where it was broken by, was stolen with, was exactly the same as. Yeah, the red paint here is the only bottle that's different. His red paint pot is full of. This broken was stolen and replaced with. Model of a girl. Red bird. Felix's paint pot. Model of a man. Felix's red paint pot. Used the mirror's weapon was broken by Felix. Freya noticed what happened. The lids were swapped to hide it. Both were left in Flora's tower. Was broken by, is full of, was used to paint. It's exactly the same as. To hide it?
Freya's red paint pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it. Almost. Maybe just cheap. Freya's red paint pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot, but Freya noticed what has happened. Nope. Freya's red paint pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot, and both were left in Flora's tower. That's not right.
Something strange about the red. Yeah. I noticed what happened and broken by Felix.
Freya's red paint pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot, and broken by Felix. That's not right either.
Was used to paint. Is full of. Was broken by. Freya's red paint pot. Was used to paint. Was full of. Was broken. Was stolen and replaced by.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but Freya noticed what has happened. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
Oh.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
all it's emptied of was somehow filled with, after Freya used it to paint. What?
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood after Freya used it to paint Flora. Almost. Maybe just change.
Before she used it.
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know. Perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
Okay. Oh, there's a room above here. Oh yeah, I forgot I got that when I looked across the way from Mr. Pointer.
So, this painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
It's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
It's a feather.
That kinda makes sense. But
No. It's the ornate trowel.
That kinda makes sense.
It's from her bird book.
Let's take a closer look at this.
The painted knife was actually just a feather from an inked bird.
The painted knife is actually just a feather from an inked bird.
It's definitely the right shape, but the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the inked bird is red and white too?
Yes. His little drawing. Or model.
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
Because it was her favorite. The Incan bird was Flora's pet that she kept in... Oh. Was she kept...
The ink-dipped bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather. I think it was pretty important to her.
Alright, so she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
In the egg.
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty. Flora? She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not... Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
Oh, a little picture. Drawings of Flora and a small bird. There was a handwritten message on the back. These are for you. Love, Freya.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
Later. I wanna go up. The attic.
It's a statue of a wolf, standing up straight, like a man.
You know there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
Just dusty junk. What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
A brass reel with a screw at the top. Coiled around the reel is the length of a fine red rope.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh.
Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is this spooky attic boring you?
Kinda.
So is that all that was in here?
Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is
Kinda.
Just dusty junk.
Where's that light
No, it's
come?
just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those.
Oh, I can see.
Is that what I think it is?
Yup.
Is that what I think it is?
Where's that light coming from?
No, it's just daylight. There's a decent gap between those floorboards.
Yeah, so maybe someone was up here? Okay. Oh. Here it wants me to go and do the thing again.
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
A knife, why is there blood on the painting? Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the... Proves the existence of magic.
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to prove the existence of magic. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
To resemble a bloody knife?
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Did Freya
Well,
fake her own death and then hire us?
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
She was already lying down for some reason? They both were, and then something happened to her. So... I still have...
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
I can't solve it yet.
Let's come back.
What do I do with the little guy?
Hey, come on, I'm just a little guy.
What animal?
Hawk.
Right, a hawk bear lizard.
Let's go to the main hall.
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
Yeah. So... Lord Fellow had a child with one of the with Stone Top, and had her parents, and her parents died, so she came here. Yeah, and he's never met Emily, I guess. He's never met his mom. Fiona.
It's
There are weeds
it's an
in it.
aquarium.
Could be anymore.
It's not locked.
A door.
Oh, what's behind
A
it?
room.
Give me a hint. Did we hear some kind of melody while we were in Flora's tower? Did we?
It's piano music.
Weird.
It's someone
there we go.
humming a tune.
Okay. bathroom.
All right.
Spooky murder mansion?
Spooky murder mansion. It's one of those big pianos with the open...
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Where did you find this?
In the attic.
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. How sweet.
Oh, whatever it is, it's...
Well, it is. Gotta practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
Go to Poppy's room.
More handwritten sheet music. More handwritten sheet music. More handwritten sheet music. More handwritten sheet music. Dresses mostly. I never realized there are so many shades of black.
There's a name. You know, these ones that... Sheet music.
It's only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed, though. Must be
Okay.
important for some reason.
So I need this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
The little crab said, yeah. Okay, so this. Now we can go.
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
So. Oh,
Let's come
I
back.
need one more. A bird.
And especially...
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
My little writing.
There's nothing written in the book. I don't like mirrors.
How do you...
I do it by weight. I can feel it. They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and...
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
A rather magnificent bush.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
A rather magnificent...
There's a letter P carved into the side.
Looks like nature. Rude.
Something to do with the birds. Right. And Lake's Edge. This?
What?
Wind chimes. Silent. Wooden wind chimes.
These birds, huh?
That's all 4 melodies, I think.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the garden?
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be... That's gotta be...
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Ooh. The bear's mouth open.
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
Underneath. Ooh.
Bugs. Big ones.
Looks like they're made of metal. What's in there?
Those like bugs.
9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean. 9 beetles.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes, mostly numbers. A cracked glass tank with 9 little rooms. Each one has 1 or 2 insects inside. I can't tell if they're still alive.
I like that you called them rooms.
It looks like they're being boiled, but the liquid is ice cold. It's so dark, I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about?
Get out of here. More stuff.
Any idea what this
Nope.
is? That a periodic table?
No, but it does kind of look like one.
What are those symbols?
They're alchemic symbols, mostly based on the planets, the sun, the moon, stuff like that.
Huh. This looks like it was drawn in a hurry.
Didn't we see those same symbols in the greenhouse?
Safe.
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle. I'm impressed.
I just had to move stuff a tiny bit.
Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
Folder containing research notes and diagrams. Our unique flora and fauna is the byproduct of a number of yet unidentified chemicals. The chemicals are continuously present in the water, forming clouds and filling the lake. This causes a variation of mutations in plants and animals. Smaller creatures such as anarchs, insects, mollusks, amphibians, and crustaceans are most affected. However, the chemicals may travel up the food chain and cause mutations in birds and reptiles. As far as we know, mammals remain completely unaffected.
Whose research is this?
Rows of plants, growing in wide wooden boxes.
What color is the soil?
It looks black, but it's too dark to tell. A candle. Birch
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates.
Secret laboratory.
This is some seriously in-depth research.
That's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
Could it perhaps be this?
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who's he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
Pointer has been trying to breathe, wasn't aware of, locked up. Golden beetle.
Pointer, locked up. The golden beetle in the underground laboratory. Almost. Maybe just change one.
The greenhouse and the rooftop and the strawberry and the underground mine. Has been trying to breed.
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the underground laboratory.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty,
Infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again? What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about?
This just does that again. It is.
Bugs.
Looks like they're made of metal.
Is that a lab coat?
Warning, hand wash only. Size, small.
It's a hatch.
But we're already in the basement.
Depends on your perspective.
Lower level.
A single book on a little makeshift table.
This is creeping me out slightly.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
A children's book. It's very old. Intic. An elegant bird with red and white plumage. The silver snake. An aquatic reptile with no eyes and a long tongue. The soul bearer. A crab with 3 different sized claws. And in a frog-like creature walking on 2 legs.
It's an old coat rack. Looks thoroughly neglected.
2 cloaks. And a green hat draped on top for good measure.
Old cardboard boxes.
How exciting.
No, but there's more. They're also damp and empty.
Gives off kind of a dungeon vibe.
What do people actually use chains for?
Nothing good. This room looks old. Like, old.
It makes the rest of the house seem relatively modern. It's an empty bookcase.
Something tells me it's been empty for a long time. We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why? By what?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy.
Asleep, a steady metal rod has been stabbed into a photograph. The rod is curved point tipped like an arrow or a hand of a clock. It is a small loop in the back, short length of red rope connected to it. The metal is perfectly clean and polished.
So what's the photo?
It's Flora and her dad. It's been framed but slightly damp. The photograph shows a young girl, a large man sitting next to her. Around them are several red and white birds. The metal object to stab the photo is leaving a hole near the man's chest.
Do you know who it is in the photo? This man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
Felix made a little model of him for Flora.
Yeah, makes sense when you know who he is.
It's Lord Remington.
Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father, meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah, it's her. See the bird, too.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
So one thing here missing.
It's an old coat
2
rack.
cloaks.
Should I go to Flora and ask her about it? She seems to be gone.
Let's not want her off right now.
Why? I did explore it. Is there more?
This room looks like
It
old.
makes the rest of the house seem...
Should we take another look?
Yeah.
There's one more thing, apparently.
There's a roll of paper up there.
I'll see if I can reach it.
Let me guess. Blank.
It's a map of the house. Mystid Mansion, north side across the rooftop garden. The aviary, music room, bedroom, study, bedroom, storage. Storage is where they made Freya live.
The library.
Storage.
It's Freya's room.
A bedroom.
That's Fifi's room, isn't it? A bedroom.
Penny's room, I think. It's the aviary. Music room.
The grand hall.
What's that thing in the middle?
I think it's that big glass tube. It's the room above us. The one we were just in.
The laboratory?
Yeah.
That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled as anything on these plans, though.
I think it already existed when this was made.
So, the whole house is built on top of some kind of platform.
Apparently.
The rooftop garden. That name makes a little more sense in this context.
Yeah, before they built on our house.
Hold on. Have we been to all of these rooms already?
The library.
That's the lake, right?
It used to be a lot lower down than it is now.
That's the lake, right?
It used to be a lot lower down.
Music room. It's the aviary. The rooftop garden. That name makes a little more sense.
A bedroom.
Penny's room, I think. Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no, we never went in there.
How did we miss it?
This seems pretty significant.
Agreed.
A roll of parchment in which the plans for the Grand Mansion have been drawn. The horizontal lines mark the lake was where before, and a second marks where it is now. The mansion has been built on top of a large structure above the lake, supported by pillars. Rare room is listed as storage. The room labeled study is in the center. So,
Let's not wander off
Why?
right now.
thought I had explored it. Am I not allowed to leave?
Basement's
We're at the bottom of the lake. We must be.
right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look like that?
Like what?
White, smooth, no plants, no anything. That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we?
Oh. The lake.
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with one candle?
It's all coming through the window.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom, not lighter.
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty, though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late. Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last...
Okay, now we can leave. Ooh, it's nighttime.
Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
How long were we down there?
This must be it. This thing goes all the way up.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on, it's pitch black, but I think there's a switch. A ladder.
Want to go up?
Here we go, the last room of the house, apparently. Hide behind the hidden heart. Ooh.
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton. You can actually see its insides.
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? Not
It's the
3.
one from the kids' book.
Ugh. You sure we should be touching it?
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
I guess that's
I don't
wrong.
think we need to guess.
What do you mean?
We have all the information we need in our case file.
We do?
This crab really
That
reminds...
little-
Yeah, but I think I've seen it more recently.
This. So it's got one off here. One going up and one going off to the side.
Is
Yes,
that a
look
crab?
at
It's
it.
got-
Also, crab.
Oh, it's so hard to move.
I guess that's
I don't think we need to
What do you
guess.
mean?
We have all the information we
Is
need.
this open too?
nothing.
I'm sure I've seen this thing.
Nope.
Wasn't this...
The children's book. Nope.
Wasn't this...
The children's book. Nope.
It
Wasn't
was,
this
and I'm doing
children's
it.
This crab really...
That little-
Yeah, but I think I've seen it more recently.
Hmm.
Is that a crab?
It's got a-
Also, crab. I guess that's
I don't
wrong.
think
What do you mean?
we have all the information we need in our case.
Perfect. What's this?
Something somebody didn't want us to find.
It's a crossbow.
is it?
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but it looks incomplete to me. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
We found them already. I think that might... But not this part of the crossbow.
What do you make of it?
Not sure. Let's keep an open mind.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is definitely the murder weapon. But that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery.
Yeah, because
Some kind
one
of
part was
fish
in
and
the
a
attic.
bird skull, I guess?
The telescope thing, Hawkshot
That's a
had
bird
it.
skull. We're talking about a 15-foot bird here.
Well, how about we stop talking about it? Who are all the people in this photo?
Not sure, but it looks like someone didn't like them very much. Their eyes have all been crossed out.
A photo of us in a sturdy wooden frame is dusty and looks several years old. A brass plaque on the bottom says a Masters of Mystid mansion. The photo shows 2 women and 3 men wearing a variety of different styles of clothing. All 5 people have their faces cruelly covered in black ink. Well, I think this is Flora. And this must be her siblings?
That photo is important. I'm sure of it.
Yes. 5 people.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at Tangle Tower?
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but now that I look at it, I don't think it is him.
Yeah. Yeah, and this looks kind of like Fifi.
You know, in any normal room, this thing would be my main concern. In here, though, it barely makes the top 3. It's a wooden pinboard, hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Oh, pictures of Hawkshot. A large central sheet of paper has been pinned to it. 4 lines have been drawn from the gap in the center. A smaller sheet underneath features drawings resembling a silhouette of a cloaked figure. Can I put something on the board? No?
It's a wooden pin hung up.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
I think the drawing of Hawkshot must go there.
Nice chair.
It's still warm.
Maybe it's just heat from the incinerator.
Maybe. Coffee table, half-empty wine bottle, lamp left on. I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
Several pages have been ripped out, but few remain. 5th and Best are located finally. I can't say I harbor any optimism, but still somehow disappointed. No better than the rest of them. I took my Mystid friend to the music room for experiments. It works, perhaps too well. The laboratory was another disappointment. All that effort for what? There's even more short-sighted than I could have guessed. Went to the bottom. Nice view. It's mostly cleaned out, but I have what I need. She got in. She was careful. Nothing was moved, but I know it's time. Oh.
An axe and some kind of hunting rifle, mounted on the wall.
Honestly, doesn't look like they've been moved in a few years.
I'm more worried about the third one.
The third one?
The one that isn't there.
An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty hot.
Is there anything left inside?
It's mostly ashes. But yeah, there's something.
Not much more than a pile of dust and ash. Among the ashes are several black buttons and red-colored scraps of fabric are still visible. The bird.
Someone's been using this room. I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
Yeah, this is a drawing of Hawkshaw. This?
That
We
doesn't...
need something that
This?
could attach.
Is she having nightmares about Hawkshaw?
The painting from Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of sense does that make?
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting. But it may have been why somebody took a photo of it, to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else. Someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
Yeah, and the red cloak and the red fabric and the buttons inside the incineration kind of look like what Hawkshaw wears, like her cloak. The murder.
Time to solve this.
All right, break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
It was fired from above. It was fired from in front of her, yeah.
It was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope. Doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing
Yeah,
up by
she
the
wasn't.
painting.
Ah, right.
Unless...
Ray was already lying down.
Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too. She'd fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
Floor paint fumes. The gramophone.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
There was something in the gramophone.
There was something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
Something small in the gramophone. This?
That's not it. That's not it. That.
Oh.
Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened. Poppy and Fitz both said they heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it was.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
No, I don't think so, not by itself. But don't forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. Now, I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The horn it's playing. It's a pretty similar shape to the one on the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too. I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too. Those cracks didn't appear out of nowhere. Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself, they all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration. Enough to crack metal. Enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range, how did the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too? Think about it. They can't have been much further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They protected themselves.
They protected themselves.
How?
They used Fitz's earmuffs.
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah, what triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
6. The arrow is pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic, presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
That's it. There's something bothering me.
What?
I just want to check something. Let's go back to the crime scene.
Okay. Flora's tower. Something new.
I can see the stars.
Her paint.
It's dark. The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
break out the notebook.
Where's my hand? I guess I can look at clues in the Flores Tower.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
Oh. Why did she put blood in it?
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink dip feather?
It was here. In this room. Where'd it go?
We found it elsewhere.
We found it somewhere else. We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene. And ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access?
They stole it after they got in.
The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here.
It's the unfinished painting.
It's in the unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished it, and then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas.
There's...
That's not it. That's not it. Freya prepared all the colors she was going to need before she started painting.
This sketch. Oh. The blood was added by the murderer so that ink tip feather do this sketch of something that's this?
Brown and gray paint was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window. Almost. Maybe just change one thing. Brown and gray paint was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window. Almost. Maybe just change. Yellow paint was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window.
Something in the window. Oh.
Oh,
There
I
she
thought it was
is.
an actual
Our little thief.
plant.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did, but she's a very good listener.
What are you doing, Hawkshaw?
Well, now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
You're not Hawkshaw, you're Panay.
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our attention?
Tie her hands, leave her hands untied.
Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
Justice for Freya.
Justice for Freya.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy, the volition to create something from nothing, the willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
You know what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, what is it, 3 times now?
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook. Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer? I suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at Tangle Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing, and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other 2 Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do, at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then, I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to a bedroom.
I'd hear voices at night, deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end, the paint would peel, wallpaper wouldn't stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside. Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a Mystid is?
Mystid?
Mystids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, Mystids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being Mystids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones.
This?
The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of Mystid Mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Mystid Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And rightly so. The age of Mystid Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era, denied to me in its entirety. The study, the room at the bottom of the lake itself, all empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them, maybe they'd share the family history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts, the creatures themselves, all lost, taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And what happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission, a unified purpose, but they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped Mystids. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5, completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision. There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Mystid Mansion.
This?
So where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure.
How was Penelope
But I
and
theorized that he received it in the
Hawkshaw?
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person, all that time, I decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
It carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Mystid Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
The will of Freya.
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted? That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the beetles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of Tangle Tower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all 3 families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough. I couldn't get Flora out of the room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
Oh, she took our boat.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down
Carried you.
here? What happened to Penny?
Fit saved both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us, because he liked Penny. A lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So, Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope,
How do you know?
because it's right here.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
That was so good. Like the art styles, the character designs, the voice acting. Oh man, Penny was one of my favorite characters until I knew she was the murderer. I mean, I liked the wings she had and how brightly colored she was. So she murdered all of the people who left, I think it was implying. And that's why she had to kill Freya too, because Freya found out. But where was the evidence that she had killed them? Like, I know the study, and we found stuff that obviously there was evidence that she had made up Hawkshaw, but the evidence that she had killed them, I don't know. Oh, there he goes. Ooh, the art gallery. So they got like concept sketches for the characters. Grimoire is a tricky to get right. He needs to be flexible mix of silly and erotic, lighthearted and dramatic. He's somewhat pretentious manner, projecting a persona of someone more experienced than he actually is. Worldly can be totally sneered when he wants to be. I like some designs of him. Sally. Sally appearance in the previous game with her hair down, her back in a long pellet. However, when she was redesigned for this game, I quickly realized this made for a really cluttered silhouette, so I changed it to bunches. The aspects of Sally's face is that her eyeshadow is accenting her lightly unimpressed face default expression. Little jackets. You have some modern adventure scenery. Yeah, so this is the original designs for these from a previous game. And Flora, really Flora, they kind of stuck. I do like that her hair did that. Felix. Our main idea for Felix is that he was stubborn, wears his adventure over even though he's stuck indoors. I want Felix to look powerful but somewhat gone to seed with age. Early on he was a sailor and had a lot more natural elements in his design. Yeah, Felix with tattoos would have been cool. I do like the Felix now. Fifi. This design's really cool. She ended up being more cutesy. Hawkshaw. Man, Penny was really transformed back from Hawkshaw quickly. Mrs. Freya. I like this. The big poofy hair. I was young Freya. I never ended up doing animation for Freya, but I drew these because she's actually one of my favorite character designs in the game. I'm sure you'll find out there's a good more to her than just a murder victim. Fits. This Fitz is way different than what he ended up being. Professor. Hydra was conceived as a fairly traditional professional archetype, the sort of person who would have been in a garden shed full of half-inch dimensions. At this stage of the process, I wasn't sure what kind of shapes to use. I just wanted Pointer to be sort of spiny and had his physical could contrast with the rival Felix. Yeah. Penny. Yeah, I love the colors they used for her. There she is. Poppy. Poppy is a really cool design too. Like the long flowing hair. And the location designs. Some exhibits, clues. Anyway, that was Tangle Tower. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed playing this game. If you want to play it for yourself, it's on Steam. You can check it out there. Thanks for watching.
I think that's what she would have wanted.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
But she had a way of understanding unspoken things.
Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all.
Orange.
It's Freya's room. Even your own parents?